Hi, everyone. This is a short online training for mentors and supervisors who are working with our Oklahoma State University student teacher candidates. In this first module, we will talk about the basics of mentoring a candidate. In the second module, we'll look at co-teaching strategies. And finally, we will look at the various roles and supports available to our candidates as they complete the final semester of their program. When mentoring a candidate, it is important to remember they are still sponges and need to soak up everything that you have to offer them. Often they cannot fathom how you are managing the classroom, and so it's important for you as the mentor to make the invisible visible. Explain everything you do, particularly in areas of classroom management. They benefit from having you clarify how you do things. Treat them as a colleague and include them in everything you do. Take them to lunch with you, invite them to faculty, IEP, and PLC meetings. They expect to participate in everything you participate in, if appropriate. Encourage your mentee to watch you teach, giving them ideas of things to look for and then answer questions for them when you are done. Ease them into teaching by giving them small groups or brief lessons to teach early on, gradually releasing them to more and more responsibility as they become more adept and adjusted to your classroom. Critique their teaching by giving them clear, specific feedback. Ask questions that gently guide them to see problem areas and offer encouragement as often and as enthusiastically as you can. There are several things that you can do to get the teacher candidate off to a better start. We encourage you to meet the candidate before the experience begins and give them some information to ease them into the culture of your school. Introduce them to faculty, staff, and administrators, and review the school handbook with them. If there are specific rules they should be aware of, make sure you clue them in ahead of time. Post his or her name on your classroom door and give them a workspace in the room with supplies and necessary tools. Tour the school building, making sure they know where the bathrooms and the cafeteria are. Familiarize them with the calendar of faculty meetings, PT conferences, and other important dates, and explain any special staff events. Assemble a binder or file folder for them with some of your favorite ideas for activities or teaching. Be kind and encouraging. Small acts of kindness, notes, little gifts are always welcome and make teacher candidates feel good. We have identified 4 stages of concerns for teaching candidates. Those of you who have supervised or mentored before may recognize 1, 2, or all of these stages. The first stage generally involves pre-teaching concerns. In this stage, the candidates are closer to the role of students. They have little understanding of the genuine concerns of teachers in a classroom. Often they can be highly critical of their mentor. They make unflattering comparisons between what they have learned in class and how the teacher manages the classroom. The candidates often seem unsympathetic and can come across as even hostile towards the mentor. Their personal lives take a high priority in this stage and can interfere negatively and inhibit their growth. This stage does not last long, fortunately. The second stage begins when the candidate has a dawning understanding of the magnitude of the profession, and they begin to worry about their own ability to survive. The book learned concerns they have discussed in class pale next to new concerns about classroom management and their own mastery of their subject area or areas. They worry about evaluations by mentors and supervisors. Each observation is cause for a great deal of stress. They are truly in survival mode at this point. The third stage of concern is where we begin to see the results of all their classes and their time in the field. They begin to feel mastery of these areas that created so much concern in stage 2. They recognize the difference between theory and practice. They are able to see what goes on in a classroom is much more nuanced and subtle. Candidates feel the frustrations and the limitations of their teaching situations. They see their own limitations more clearly and have concerns about their methods and their effectiveness. They see the mentor's strengths more clearly and aspire to reach the level of complete competence and confidence. The fourth stage is where we hope most of them will be at the end of their internship, but it may take longer for some. Many of them will develop a concern for individual students. They can see that each student is unique in both learning styles and social and emotional needs. They see themselves as caring, strong, flexible, child-centered, and in control. And they have an awareness of the broader issues in education. They see the direct impact of these issues on their particular students. These candidates are the ones we want to recommend to go into their own classrooms and work with children. Each of these stages can be difficult on its own terms, but it is good to know that none of them last long. The candidate nurtured by a good mentor will move quickly through all four stages if they're passionate about teaching and kids. This is the end of the first module.